Hey, hello, everybody. This is Jovanka Ciaras with another episode of the Reclaiming Wellness live broadcast. Coming to you on a Friday afternoon to talk about fun things that I've been finding online. So this week, we are going to talk about an herb called Nettles that is amazing for potential, for all kinds of things. For those of you who might be struggling with allergies, especially seasonal allergies, we're going to talk about nutritional yeast. That's going to be our healthy ingredient of the week. And in vegan news, we were going to talk about the Bad Vegan Netflix documentary. This one is a lot of fun. And finally, we will talk about this amazing book in other wellness news that I don't have on my desk, but somebody will get it for me in a few seconds. So let's get to it, shall we? Let me share my screen. The first thing that I want to show you is this amazing thing about nettles. So nettles is or it's also known as stinging nettles because the plant, the big bush, when you touch it, it actually could cause your skin to itch. So you got to be very careful when you actually come in contact with it. But as a plant, this fantastic plant has been used for hundreds of years. The ancient Egyptians, which are people that I absolutely love, you'll hear me talk about the ancient Egyptians in Reclaiming Wellness, the book coming out on April 19th, many times because they had it going on, those Northern African people. Anyway, so nettles has been used for hundreds, if not thousands of years to treat all kinds of issues, especially issues of the urinary tract and especially the prostate health. But what you may not know is that if you use it for allergies, it's actually really good for you. First of all, it contains a lot of nutrients, vitamins, minerals, lots of amino acids, and it's just full of antioxidants. This is the part that I wanted you to focus on today. It helps you reduce inflammation. And that is part of the thing that we're going to help treat allergies or help manage your allergies. It's not only topically, you can use it in cream form for any kind of skin irritation, but in tea or in pill form when you're trying to increase and improve your immunity and help you fight allergies, especially seasonal allergies, because it helps you reduce inflammation. There was a study done, it was a very small study, only 27 people, applying stinging nettle cream onto arthritis affected areas, and it found that it significantly reduced pain compared to the placebo treatment. There's been other studies done. My suggestion is to go to Healthline. I'm not affiliated with them. They do not necessarily pay me or anything, but I actually love some of the research because they have a lot of things attached to the research. So you don't have to believe them. You can go straight to the study and learn for yourself, which is something that here we always recommend. As I said, this is traditionally have been used as a male tonic. It's really great at helping you, especially people that are over a certain age, 50 and close to 50 years old, right? Like if you're 70 or 80 and you have had issues with a large prostate for many years, this might not be necessarily something that will help you. But if you're relatively young, 40, 35, and you already have issues with a large prostate, you can actually get some benefits. And it's also a tonic, so it's used as a preventative alternative to the potential of getting those issues. The prostate, for the vast majority of men, will enlarge at some point. If you live long enough, you will probably struggle with an enlarged prostate at some point in your life. But the ideal is that we want to reduce the amount of time that happens with, the amount of symptoms that you struggle with, and potentially stave that off, right, as long as we possibly can. We know that it is known to treat hay fever. At least traditionally, the studies are actually still relatively small, and we don't necessarily know. We had some been really studied in humans. But traditionally, the anecdotal evidence is there. We've been treating it for hay fever for many years. There's also some initial ideas about the potential for Nettles helping you with high blood pressure and, of course, with sugar control. Those are also relatively small studies, so that's hence the word may. Either way, this is something that you could absolutely take on a regular basis. I'm going to hide my screen here. It's a very safe plant. It's been used for many, many years, especially in North America. So if you are in North America, you've probably heard of nettles before. My suggestion to you is always, always, always check with your doctor, check with your herbalist, make sure that they actually give you an okay to give it a go. If you go to a health food store, chances are you'll find an herbalist there that will have a plethora of information to share with you. Moving on to the next topic today, which is all about nutritional yeast. Love my nutritional yeast. I mean, it is the quintessential vegan ingredient, if you will. But even if you're not vegan, you're going to love nutritional yeast. It is. First of all, this is a type of fermented food. So it, as you can imagine, that will just be great as the type of probiotic or prebiotic or probiotic enhancing type of food. It comes with fortified or as unfortified. So the fortified ones obviously are just being added vitamins and all kinds of other ingredients to boost its nutritional content. But even if you're doing the unfortified, it still has a lot of nutrients. It is a complete protein, as you see here in the screen. It contains a lot of the vitamin B complex. So for those of you who are vegan, like myself, and you are concerned about your vitamin B intake, which is critical, obviously it's an important nutrient, this is going to be fantastic. I make sauces with it all the time. I put it on my popcorn when I'm watching a movie. And it's cheesy in taste. So it tastes almost like a little bit like dry cheddar, but it's actually like smoother than that. So for those of you who don't like cheese, which I'm assuming are in the minority, it's not super aggressive. So you're going to be okay, even if it has a little bit of a cheesy taste. If you are somebody that loves and are missing the taste of cheese, this is the place to go. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So as I mentioned, it helps prevent vitamin B deficiencies in vegan. And by the way, if you ate flesh in the last 2 to 3 years, chances are you're not going to be deficient in vitamin B12, because this is actually a bacteria that replenishes itself inside your body. And if you have had any kind of animal flesh in the last 3 years, chances are you're going to be okay without supplementation. But if you want to be super careful, then of course, take your vitamin B supplement or take your nutritional yeast. The other thing that's important to note is that even if you're not a vegan, if you are a meat eater, you may still be deficient in vitamin B12. So don't think for a second that because you eat animal flesh, you are immune to being deficient in nutrients, many, many nutrients. Trust me when I tell you this. But you will, if you're eating meat that is high quality, that is probably a little bit more expensive because it's higher quality meat, so has not been mass produced, it's organic, it has been, the animals have been fed properly the way that nature intended, then if it doesn't fit any of those criteria, then chances are you may not be getting vitamin B12 either, because these animals, by the time they die, they're very sick. And so you're eating actually decaying, sick flesh. Just the truth. Moving on, is really great in powerful antioxidant, and it may boost your immunity. There have been certain studies, unfortunately in animals, showing the relationship between immune boosting capabilities and the use of nutritional yeast. So I love my nutritional yeast. There's other categories here about how it could actually help you lower your cholesterol. The studies are very small on that, so I will let you do additional research. The one thing that I wanted to make sure that you knew is that if you're new to nutritional yeast and you consume too much at once, it might actually make you feel a little bit crappy. So it's almost like when you take beet juice and you take too much of it in a single sitting. Just be careful. Just take it, just take it easy. Maybe sprinkle a little bit on your popcorn to start with. Maybe make a sauce. My friend Janae Claiborne has a couple of recipes with it, but you can find them online everywhere. So give it a go. I love it. This is my nutrient of the day. Moving on. This is an amazing in some health news. I just wanted to show you this. So this is a new Netflix documentary called The Bad Vegan. And it is the story of a celebrity raw chef with a super, super popular and successful raw vegan restaurant in New York City. This was the quintessential vegan restaurant in the world. Most of it was raw, though they did have a couple of meat dishes, cooked dishes. Sorry, not meat, cooked dishes. And in that, I had been to that restaurant for probably 24 times. It was in New York City. I was living in New York City, and it was a place where everybody went. I mean, the Alec Baldwin and Hilaria Baldwins of the world would show up there and be friends with this chef. It was literally the place to be. And the food was incredible. So this lady had a really successful brand. And at some point, the restaurant, by the way, was called Pure Food and Wine. For some reason, one day, we started hearing in the news that her entire staff just walked out and claimed that they had not been paid. They claimed that the rent on the restaurant had not been paid. This restaurant was really tiny inside, but it had a great patio. And even in the middle of the winter, we would sit outside. It had, of course, warmers and stuff because it was a scene. It was always full. And it was a gorgeous place. And the food was really good. And it was really unfortunate that she sort of like undid all that good stuff that she had been building for many years. The documentary specifically talks about how she met a man, and that man started to sort of swindle her, or we don't know the exact. I'm gonna leave it there because I want you to actually see it. The documentary also explores whether or not she was the one being the scammer versus him. Like, was it just his involvement that led her into a path where she got, the brand that she worked so hard for destroyed, or was it just her? Which one was it? So I want to show you the trailer really, really quickly. It's about 2 minutes, so check it out.
So I'm just supposed to do whatever you say and listen to your instructions and...
Yes, you signed on to this. You told me you wanted happily ever after. If I tell you to take all your money out of the bank and light it on fire, do it.
Pure Food and Wine was the top raw vegan restaurant in the world.
It was ahead of its time, and it was a high-end, fine dining vegan experience. It was a hotspot.
Owen Wilson used to just post up in the back and walk through the kitchen. And I'm like, what is this place?
Sarma was the brand, the raw vegan queen.
It was such a great environment to work in. If none of this had ever happened, we'd probably still be working there.
Sarma was telling me about a guy that she had been talking to online.
There were tons of conspiracy theories about why she married him. Was there some sort of blackmail involved?
It was just all very mysterious.
Anthony told Sarma she had to perform a series of tests. He promises her that he is going to make Sarma and her dog immortal. It's a complete madness.
You know about the meat suit?
What is the meat suit? Oh no. What's the meat suit? I'm gonna need a minute.
Some of the money coming from the restaurant business, it went straight to Anthony's pocket. He tells her, if you don't keep going along,
you'll lose everything you ever cared about.
owners of a popular Manhattan vegan restaurant are under arrest, accused of ripping off their workers.
I said that I felt like she was stealing from us, and I was fired.
Police say junk food led them to the fugitives.
When I heard she got caught ordering pizza in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, I got the popcorn out. Like, let's do this.
Who cares about their pizza?
What happened to the money?
What if Sarma's running a scam on him? If that was the con?
Makes her look like the vegan Bernie Madoff.
What happened to you?
Yeah, really interesting stuff, guys. It's one of those things that is a little bit heartbreaking. Actually, a lot heartbreaking. That woman was doing great stuff, and she was incredibly successful, and she deserved to continue to be successful. And then at the same time, love happens sometimes. We do silly things in the name of love. So I am going to highly recommend you that you check this out. It's on Netflix. Again, I'm not making any money off of this. I just wanted to give you a little bit of pop culture gossip for you to take on your Friday afternoon. Moving on. Our last topic of the day is all about a new book. As you know, every week I'm going to feature a book. These are older books that I've had for many years, and I have enough to keep you busy for the next, 100 weeks. So I wanted to kind of move away from plants and foods and herbalism for a second and talk about a book that is about wellness, but it is a little bit more about mental and emotional wellness. This one is called Mind Over Medicine by Lisa Rankin. She is a doctor. And if I remember correctly, I think it became a national bestseller. Or she's a national bestseller, and she wrote a book about it. I see people saying hello, hi. This particular book talks about scientific proof. This woman actually went around. She's a doctor. She realizes that some of her treatments can actually help heal people, and some of them don't. And she also started realizing that a lot of people that are very, very sick, that do not have any business getting better, somehow did. And she couldn't understand why, or at the very least, she got curious about it, and she started looking for scientific proof that people can heal themselves, that people with all kinds of different conditions, chronic, life-threatening, very serious, mild, small, like nothing, all kinds of people from all walks of life and all kinds of different corners of the world can actually through mind over power, heal themselves. And so she started looking at not only the examples of people, but the scientific proof, right? Like this person we know scientifically this person had been diagnosed with the disease. And now many months or many weeks later, we understand that there's no trace of that disease in their bodies and why that is happening. So I love the book. I thought it was actually really fascinating. I remember reading this when I was diagnosed with fibroids and when I had endometriosis, and I was like, and the doctor said, there's nothing I can do for you. I can put you on this pill or that pill, but you're just going to have to deal or surgically remove them. And I was like, that's not for me. So I read the book. I followed some of the practices. I started meditating and doing all kinds of amazing mindfulness practices that she and other people recommend, and it's been really incredible. Even if you are not sick, but we are constantly like barraged with negativity from the news and from what's happening in the world, and perhaps retraining our minds to stay well, right, or to go back and reclaim our natural state of wellness is something that could actually potentially help us prevent disease or help us reverse some of the symptoms so that our bodies can actually restore balance, which is what it knows how to do best. So Lisa Rankin, Mind Over Medicine, this book has to be like almost 8 or 9 years old, but it was a really powerful book when I read it, and I thought that it would be fun to bring it forth. So I will continue to bring other books that are a little bit oldie but goodies. just because, new books are actually fun, but why not kind of like rehash some of the old books? I'm sure these authors will appreciate it. That is the broadcast for today. Thank you so much for listening. I will continue to do this and hopefully grow my audience this way. This is like my way of kind of like getting excited about the idea of podcasting without podcasting, or the concept of podcasting that we have become super popular today. As you know, I love being on camera and I love interacting with people. So this feels like more of my go-to medium. So please share this video with all of your friends all over the internet. Make sure that you subscribe. And wait, yes, leave me a question if you have any. Thank you so much for being here. Make sure that you share this video with all of your friends all over the internet, and that you subscribe for more tips and a jolt of motivation for your healthy, happy, and beautiful life. See you soon.